So hi everyone, my name is Shashwat and I'm a rising senior at American High School. For my starter project, I initially did this Simon Says game with Arduino, in which basically I learned how to solder and circuit. And in this game, the user matches a random pattern and it increases in difficulty. So after completing my starter project, I began on my main project, which was the DIY Fitbit. And it essentially records a step count, and it can project that step count to an app on my iPhone using Bluetooth. So the main parts of my Fitbit are an accelerometer, and there's a BLE Bluetooth module, a microcontroller, a lithium battery, and there's the wristband itself. And I chose this project because I really wanted to create a device that could keep the overall community healthier, and I also wanted to add in some modifications for stress management because I'm a high schooler and I know that there's so many high schoolers today that are really stressed out. So I thought if I could manage that, that would be great. So this is going to be a demonstration of my project. So first I'll plug in the battery to my device, and as you can see it lights up showing it's on. And on my phone I have this Adafruit Bluetooth app, and the Bluetooth module shows up and I connect to it. And then I go to the UART settings, and once I shake the device, which essentially replicates a step, as you can see it's updating every single step. And if I want to turn it off, I simply just disconnect the device and it disconnects. So in order to complete the construction of my project, I first had to begin with the coding. So first of all, I coded the accelerometer, and in this I recorded the XYZ acceleration data and I converted that to total acceleration data. And from the total acceleration data, I managed to get the step count, and then I stored that step count in an updating variable. And then from the completion of the code for the accelerometer, I started working on the Bluetooth module code. So it basically used the transmission and receiving lines to send data from the accelerometer to the Adafruit Bluetooth app on my phone. And then after I completed the code, I started working on the threading of the device. So I basically used conductive thread, which allowed me to eliminate the need for using wires at all. And I could wear the device actually, rather than having a bunch of jumbled wires. And lastly, I added in a Velcro strip to put my battery so I could power the device without using a computer. I think my greatest challenge when completing this project was learning how to use the conductive thread. So before coming to Bootstrap, I never learned to sew before, so that was hard in itself. And in addition, the conductive thread is conductive, so whenever the two pieces of the thread would touch, it would conduct electricity, and this would sometimes create a short circuit. So initially in my first design actually, I did my threading way too close to each other and it caused short circuiting. So I had to resew everything onto the second one, in which I spaced out my threading, and I used fabric glue to coat the thread itself so it wouldn't have corrosion. And I think overall this project was really fun and interesting, and it's really applicable in the community today. And as for my Bootstrap experience, it was wonderful because I learned a lot of new things that I didn't know before, but it was in an environment where I could also have fun. And as for my project in the future, for potential modifications, I'm adding in an OLED display to show the step count on the band itself, and I'm also going to add in a heart rate sensor to detect stress levels using heart rate variability. Thank you.
How did you get the step count from the acceleration data?
Yeah, so basically what I did was, from the acceleration, the total acceleration, it was supposed to be around 9.8 because of gravity. So whenever there's a motion, the acceleration varies. There's peaks in the acceleration. So I set a command, so if the acceleration varies by more than 1, that counts as 1 step, so I kept on adding. Yeah.
How did you program it to, did you program the app yourself too?
No, so that was the thing. So I spent about, I think, three days working on an app myself. It was an MIT App Inventor app. I ran into some struggles with that, so I wasn't able to complete that, but definitely I want to make that work. But for now, I used the app from the developer, and I basically made it so that it would receive my data. So it wasn't my own app.
All right. Thank you, Shashwat.